Good morning. Welcome back to Jana's Beautiful Mess. This is week 6 garden tour, June 18th, 2021. We live in zone 7B in central-ish Alabama. We're right on the cusp of 8A. We've had a lot of changes in the garden this week. We pulled out a lot of things. We don't have anything new going in yet, but we're gonna do that later in the week. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's get into the tour. This week, I thought we would start out here by the driveway. That's our kitchen right there. Come down these stairs. And this is a 4x8 garden bed, and this is a 4x8 garden bed. There are then 3 4x20 foot garden beds. So 1, 2, 3. Let's start out here with this farthest one. So this first row of tomatoes here, these 10 into the middle, those are orange persimmon tomatoes. I'll try to put something up on the screen. We are just waiting for them to start blushing. We still haven't pulled our first tomato for the year, but it should be soon. These are leeks. I think I probably planted them too late, but I thought I might as well try. So we've got leeks down to the middle here, and then there's 2 square feet worth of leeks here, and then our red onions are starting. I'm starting to think that maybe they're about to be ready. They're not very big, but their green tops are starting to fall over. Can anybody tell me if these are ready? And this, I'm not sure what happened to my garlic. These completely shriveled up and they're gone. There used to be some here, but then some of it is still there. So I'm not sure what happened. This half of the tomatoes are beefsteak tomatoes. They're not doing very well. They keep topping themselves somehow. This one's finally got a new top that's come out. Hopefully it will actually be a top, because right now it just keeps topping itself. Here's a good example. See, it's all crazy. Is there something I'm doing wrong to make that happen? There's another one. So I'm just letting this sucker come out and form a new top, because there is no top on this one. It's just gone. These are my volunteer Aussies. These are my favorite cherry tomato plants. So I'm just kind of letting them do their thing. I planted a bunch of seeds this year. Not a single one germinated. However, when I saw these, I was ecstatic, as you can imagine. So that was side 1. Here's side 2. The tomatoes on this row, they're St. Pierre down to the middle, so 10 St. Pierre. And then I think there are only 5 pink Berkeley tie-dye and 5 Valencias. And then these are bunching onions till about there. And from there on are more of those candy apple red onions. Look here. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. This is what they call a cat-faced tomato. You'll be able to tell usually if you're gonna have a cat-faced tomato, because what you'll see is what's called a fasciated blossom. What a fasciated blossom is where it looks like more than one flower has formed into a single blossom. And that creates multiple tomatoes forming into a single tomato, which creates these little crevices and grooves for moisture and bugs to get into. A lot of times what I will do if I see a fasciated blossom is I will just pull it, because I don't want my tomato plants putting their energy into tomatoes I'm just gonna have to throw out anyway because they're infested with bugs. I leave a couple of the really huge ones to see what they're gonna do, and of course there are always some that slip past. It's just the nature of the game. So if I see another one, I'll show it to you. These tomatoes, the bunching onions, the pink Berkeley tie-dye tomatoes. The pink Berkeley tie-dyes are the ones that are so sad looking. If you saw last week's garden tour, basically you saw this, and they haven't gotten any better. So I came through this week and just pruned the heck out of them, because I want them to put all their energy into either ripening what fruit they have before they die or producing new greens. I don't know. I should probably just pull them, but I'm trying to get something out of them. But it's just, well, there's one on the other side, but really it's just those 5 that have the curly tops. The rest of them look pretty normal. I don't know if it's that variety or there's something in my garden bed that's doing it. So many tomatoes. Can't wait until they start coming in. That bed's complete. Move on to the middle bed. Right now, this is my favorite bed just because look at the abundance under here. These are the Clementine tomatoes. And just look at them. This view from down here, it just fills my heart with joy. As some of you pointed out from my tomato pruning video, people were like, you have to have the tomatoes covered with leaves or they'll sunburn. And that is very true. That is very true. But with my particular setup here, as you can see, they're still getting plenty of shade. The ones on the bottom are getting plenty of shade. They're not going to get sunburned. If I were to prune more, then they would get sunburned. But they're fine for now, I hope. Here, that's where we had our spinach. We pulled the spinach this week. So we'll have to figure out something else to put in there now. The carrots will probably, I don't know, the carrots might come out this next week as well. We'll see. These here, pretty sure this one cross-pollinated with something else from last year, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'm not selling these. I'm eating them. These are Cherokee purples. These 10 here. More Swiss chard. We've got some beets tucked away in here. And then calendula here on the end. All right, side 1 of the middle bed. This is side 2. You can see a lot of stuff came out here. So that was lots of lettuce came out of there. And it was all bolted. So this bed I did all the Cherokee purple on the other side and Russian purple on this side, or purple Russian. Put all the purple things in here because it gets more shade on this side of the garden bed than it does down there on that side. So I was hoping more shade would preserve the color, because I've heard that if they're in the sun, it can take away some of the color. Some of them have reached the top now, so it's gonna be time to lower and lean pretty soon. We'll probably make a video on that. Here's that one that cross-pollinated from the other side. See, it just looks so much different than the rest. That's okay. I'm excited. Starting here down to the end, I think all 10 are mortgage lifters. Again, they may have cross-pollinated as well. We've got a lot of different stuff going on. Like that's a mortgage lifter, but this is also mortgage lifter. That looks like a different bunch. It'll be interesting to see how they all turn out. The peppers are looking good this week. Look at those guys in there. Those are hybrid sweet peppers. That's a sweet Wonder Bell. I think this is a red banana pepper, but it doesn't have anything on it yet. Sweet Cali Wonder Bell, more red banana pepper, yellow bell peppers, another red banana pepper, more yellow bell peppers. That's it for the middle bed. So we'll move on to the third bed. So here, all the way down, are the potato leaf tomatoes. They're called potato leaf tomatoes because if you look at these leaves, they look a lot like the leaves that come out when you grow potatoes, versus these leaves that look like tomato leaves. So these are vintage wines, and those are brandy wines, I think. If you've been watching the garden tour videos, you will have seen that the eggplants have been looking pretty rough since I put them in. But looky here. How exciting is that? A bloom. Let's see, they're still looking kind of rough. Like, yikes. We sprayed them with BT a few days ago. The bugs seem to mostly be gone, so that's good. But it's about to start raining again tomorrow, so I don't know how long they'll stay gone. More flowers, more beets. When I was pulling out the spinach in this bed the other day, I got to this one down here on the end, and it had been hidden by spinach. And look at it. It's a pretty big beet. There's been a lot of change happen in this bed. This was all spinach. Pulled out all the spinach. You come over here on this side, and I pulled out the lettuce that was here, and all the spinach that was there, and then there was more lettuce down there. That's all been pulled and put into the compost. This side is the side with the cherry tomatoes. It's nothing but a wall of cherry tomatoes here, alternating between Matt's Wild Cherry and Brad's Atomic Grape. These are what the Matt's Wild Cherries look like. Your small little cute tomatoes. And that is what Brad's Atomic Grapes look like. Cherry tomatoes are usually the first to come in, which makes sense because they're smaller. So we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. This one is Matt's Wild Cherry. This one actually has reached the top. Before we even get our first tomato off of it, it's already at the top. That's where the lettuce came out. Swiss chard. Look at the jalapenos. Look at the size of that one. They are rocking and rolling. There's some cherry tomatoes hiding in the dill. And this is the cilantro, which it started off as cilantro here. And then it turned to coriander here. And now it's going to seed here. And with the seed, when I pull it, I'll just shake it into the garden so that it will reseed next year. Also, Elliot is going to see if he can save some of the seeds and grow cilantro microgreens with it. That should be fun. These are the ones that I'm expecting to ripen first. See that beautiful purple? And then there's gonna be some orange on it and the green. They're glorious looking. Time to move to the short beds. They're a lot different this week. I finally pulled all the peas that were in here. I pulled all the kale, but these 4 that looked like they were still putting on some effort. Luckily, this tomatillo is so gigantic now that it's shading out my kale for me. I mean, I clearly had no idea how big this thing was gonna get when I put it in. I'm glad they both didn't come up. I planted 2 of them right there next to each other. All right, so we've got some parsley here. These are the ground cherries. This one has just laid over on its side so that it could get some sun, because this other one is a beast. Okay, sorry. I'm waiting for this one to fall off. It's the first one. I've never had a ground cherry before. I'm so excited to eat one. Ooh, there's the bee. And then the bouquet dill. Oregano, it's getting pretty big and fabulous. The rosemary is growing well. And we've got the mint. One more thing here in the kitchen garden are the strawberries. These are the basins for 2 green stalk planters. I unstacked them at the beginning of the season so that I could fill them up with compost. And then I just let them sit there for too long. And now I don't want to stack them back up because I don't want to smash the strawberry plants. So I guess this is their home for now until they go dormant again, and then I'll stack them back up and find their new home. But they seem to be pretty happy right here, so I'm just gonna let them be happy here. It's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. Okay, that does it for the kitchen garden area. So now let's go around back and we'll show you what we've got going on out there. Here we are at the top of the back stairs again. These are all of our determinate tomatoes. I did some pretty heavy pruning on these guys this week. I know. I just pruned off the sun leaves. I didn't prune off any of the suckers. Maybe I'll make a video on determinate tomato pruning, but I'm not ready to claim that I know what I'm doing yet when it comes to that. We'll see. There's lots of tomatoes though. Hopefully it works. Okay, here's the top of the stairs. It looks quite a bit different than it did last week. I got it all mulched. Well, most of it. I ran out of mulch at the very end of the onions there. I've got more coming, but it's not here yet. So I'm gonna go down the stairs and then we'll start the tour in the back. Guess we'll start at this side so the sun's in our back instead of in our eyes. These are the potatoes that we planted from chits. They're doing really well. I'm pretty pleased. And these are the potatoes that we planted from seed potatoes. So I'm pretty pleased. I'll be interested to see the difference in harvest. Cucumbers all the way down. Cucumbers are doing well, I guess. Some of them are turning kind of yellow. There's a lot coming in. Look at that guy. And that one. On this side of that same row is more tomato plants. This was our overflow. I finally got to come out and prune them yesterday or the day before. I wouldn't suggest doing this. I wouldn't plant my cucumbers and my tomatoes on the same trellis again in the future, just because the cucumbers are always trying to come over and hug the tomatoes, which, I mean, I guess tomatoes need love too. But those are all tomatoes as well. This is a 16-foot bed, and there's 1 tomato plant per square foot on each side. So there's 32 tomatoes in this bed and 32 tomatoes in that bed. And this is just hodgepodge of all different kinds of tomato plants. These are just all the extras that we didn't give away, and we didn't have the heart to just throw away. Corn. These are the squash. I'm not sure what the difference is as far as why some of them are thriving and some of them are not. And it's okay. I planted them too close together anyway. Maybe that's why they're sad. We've got squash down the middle, half yellow squash, half zucchini. Down this side is all nasturtiums, alternating between red and purple, I believe. Down this side here is all different types of pest prevention flowers. There's some calendula, cosmos, some marigolds, and these are the onions. And they're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy with them. We had a lot of rain since the last garden tour that I shot, and we had a little bit of a washout here. I don't know if you can see it. I covered it with straw, so it's a little bit harder to see. But you see how the onions look pretty rough in this area. That's where the water came and washed through and went down there. So we'll see how that turns out. And then this is the end where I ran out of the straw mulch, the chopped straw. And we've got a rogue volunteer here. I left it. So that does it for the backyard production garden area here. And Raylan's pumpkin is going strong. So we're super excited about that. No, we're not gonna try to trellis it up the tomato cage. I just have the tomato cage there to mark it so we don't accidentally run it over or something. So that's it for this garden. Let's go to that one. I have all this cardboard here because I'm gonna put down a whole section of cardboard here, and I'm gonna put straw all over that cardboard, and then I'm gonna lay the melon vines down on that straw and hope that that will work for this year. I knew that this wasn't a permanent solution for the melons when I put them up here, but I have yet, oh, squirrel, actually bee. He's almost too fat for that flower. I mean, no, you're not, honey. You're perfect, just the way you are. Anyways, what I was saying was that I have yet to successfully grow any watermelons. So I'm crossing my fingers that this time I will have some watermelons. These are the spicy peppers. These are poblanos. Got a nice poblano there. Habaneros here in the front. And then this one here in the back. That's a hybrid hot pepper. This one and this one and that one and that one are cayennes. Elliot is going to make his own hot sauce, hopefully. We're gonna try at least. And those are just all the brassicas that I haven't pulled out yet. I'm leaving these for the pollinators. Last week I ate some of the pods in that garden tour. They're a little bit too tough to eat now. So this whole back row here, starting there, that's a watermelon, crimson sweet. And these are cantaloupes of some kind. More cantaloupes all the way down. Something that I've been forgetting to show because I have them tucked over here out of the way because I haven't decided where I'm going to put them, are these goji berry bushes. I'm taking a while to figure out a place to put the goji berries because I want to set up a permaculture type area, permaculture forest, like a food forest. And I want the goji berry bushes to be a part of that. But that's more of a permanent type situation, so I have a hard time making decisions on the things that are perennials, that are permanent, gonna go in. I want to plant them in a food forest type situation and pick the best spot for that. That's why I haven't decided where to put them yet. Good morning. This is the next day. I'm sitting out on my back porch this morning, enjoying my cup of coffee. I was up late last night editing this video when I realized that I had either lost my outro clip or never pushed record when I was filming it yesterday. So I didn't have an outro clip for this video. So that's what I'm doing now. I don't know if you can hear, the rain has started. So I'm sitting out, enjoying the rain, and drinking my cup of coffee. I had a couple of things I wanted to tell you about. One was, after 6 weeks of doing this, it has become overwhelmingly clear that Saturdays are the days that you like to watch garden tour videos. I guess people like to get up in the morning and have a cup of coffee and watch a garden tour video. That's what I like to do. So the goal from now on is to film garden tour videos on Friday mornings and then release them on Saturday mornings. That's why I was up late last night filming this video so that I could release it today. But then at 2 a.m. when I realized I didn't have this outro clip, I wasn't about to do it. So here I am the next day. I'm not sure if this is gonna get uploaded today. I don't know if you're gonna see me on Saturday in a couple of hours or if it will be Sunday morning. What I usually do is edit the videos at night before I go to bed and start them to upload. That way by the time I wake up in the morning, they're uploaded and ready to go. But since this is gonna happen during the middle of the day and we live out in the country and there are quite a few people here that like to use the internet, I don't know how long it's gonna take for the upload to happen. So you'll either be seeing this video this afternoon on Saturday or tomorrow morning on Sunday. In that case, if it's tomorrow morning, Happy Father's Day. If not, if you're seeing this video today, then yay, I made it. Next week, hopefully it will be earlier in the morning. Also, make sure you go join our Facebook group, Jenna's Beautiful Mess. We really have a tight-knit little community going on over there where people come in and post their questions and we do the best to answer them. If we don't have the answers, we do our best to try to find the answers. So we'd love for you guys to come over there and join us in our own private Facebook group. I guess that should wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me today in the garden. I hope I was able to entertain you some and teach you a little bit along the way. If you enjoyed yourself or if you learned something today, please be sure and hit the like button or comment below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell icon so that you'll get a notification anytime that we post a video. All of those things really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. It shows YouTube that we're putting out content that people like and people want to see, and that really helps out our channel. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I will see you next week. Bye.